What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over talking about NBA 2K25 MyTEAM, the upcoming all-star content drop that is going to be coming, and something that I would definitely think about if I were you guys. Now, just want to put things in perspective. Last year when the all-star drop came out, we obviously saw the 100 overall Kareem that ruined everything. But we also saw I'm doing some quick math here, over 10 Galaxy Opal cards added into the game. Every, all-star player got a pink diamond. And so we saw just a ton of all-star cards added into the game. Just a ridiculous amount. So I do expect all the all-star starters to get a Galaxy Opal card. And again, the bench players probably will see pink diamond cards if they do things like last year. And if that happens, I'm telling you right now, we are going to see the auction house go way, way, way down. So that is something I want you guys to at least think about. Like, even if you look at the All-Star from 2 years ago, nearly every player that played in the All-Star game, every player that did got a Galaxy Opal, and then we saw the captains get Dark Matters. And so every time we see an All-Star drop, guys, we see a ton of cards, a ton of good cards. And we'll see the market kind of react because of that. Now, I'll briefly talk about the All-Star starters and go from there. So, if you look at the All-Star game coming up again this upcoming weekend, I do expect to see the market crash slightly before then. But here's what you guys are looking at. Again, the All-Stars, they did it in kind of a weird way this year. They kind of changed it up a little bit. But here's what you're looking at as far as teams, right? You got LeBron James, you got Steph Curry, you got Jason Tatum, KD. Those are all All-Star starters. So if I had to guess, those cards will at least see Galaxy Opals. And so if you're wondering, well, Ty, don't we already have a Galaxy Opal LeBron James? We do. We absolutely do. But I do think we're going to get another Galaxy Opal Braun. Now, should you sell your Braun? If your Braun looks like this, no. But if your Braun is like a base Galaxy Opal Braun, I don't think it hurts by selling them. Now, again, these LeBron Jameses are still crazy. And so if you can get these guys for cheap, go ahead and do your thing. But just know if we see a Dark Matter Braun, what's going to happen? We're also going to see Galaxy Opal Steph Curry probably, if I had to guess. Voted All-Star starter. Again, Steph Curry is pretty rare, but if you had him, maybe would try to sell him. Jason Tatum, KD, a couple of other Galaxy Opals that I do think are going to come. As far as some other All-Star starters, Jalen Brunson. We do have a Galaxy Opal Jalen Brunson, so his price could crash. Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Giannis was voted All-Star starter. Obviously, he's injured, so I don't know how that's going to work. Same thing with Anthony Davis. He was an all-star, but now he's hurt, so I don't know how that's going to work either. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the point guard position might drop because he is going to be, in my opinion, the best point guard in the game. And if you have Countdown, Pink Diamond, SGA, his price probably will go down quite a bit. And I don't love this SGA anyway, so if you have a guy like this, just get rid of him, man. He's not doing anything for you guys. Okay, so those are your all-star quote-unquote starters. Now, let's talk about some other guys that are going to be coming. Damian Lillard, I don't love Dame, obviously, on this game. His price probably will go down. James Harden, a card that we do have in the game. The problem with James Harden is he's a dark matter in the game. Now, I don't expect us to get a dark matter James Harden. And so this James Harden is going to be better than the James Harden we get. We might get a pink diamond, maybe Galaxy Opal. But yeah, it is going to be tough if you want to sell your Harden. Do what you got to do. Jaylen Brown, another card we're going to get. We do have an Opal Jaylen Brown. I don't necessarily love him. Kyrie is the replacement for Anthony Davis. So, another card that probably is going to be coming. Now, we got, on Team Kenny, we got Jaren Jackson Jr. So, this is an interesting for like my No Money Spent Squad series because I've got Jaren. Is his price going to crash? Honestly, I think it's going to come down. Now, is he worth selling? That might be a different situation. But if you have Jaren, especially a base Jaren, I'd try to sell him. Because, look, I love Jaren as much as anybody. But I do expect his price to come down. And honestly, I think Pink Diamond Jaren is just going to be better than the Diamond Jaren Jackson Jr. Jalen Williams, I don't think we really got a good Jalen Williams. So I really wouldn't worry too much about him. If Jalen Williams can't play shooting guard, he's going to be solid, though. I like Jalen Williams' release. Darius Garland, Don't love him. Evan Mobley, we do have Pink Diamond Mobley. If you want to get rid of him, you can. Cade Cunningham, at least going to see another Pink Diamond, maybe Galaxy Opal. It depends how they do things, but probably at least a Pink Diamond Cade Cunningham card. Look, Cade's got some decent Pink Diamond cards. If you've got him, especially the base version, I'd sell him. If you got one that looks like this, I would not sell him. He becomes absolutely one of the best point guards in the game. We also are seeing another Tyler Hero card. We've seen some Tyler Hero cards this year. What do we got? We got a Pink Diamond Hero that right now is 100K. If you got him, sell it. You like that getting 100K for him is crazy. Then we get into the fun part of this. Victor Wembanyama. Now, Wemby's not an all-star starter, so it'll be interesting. Remember, like, the MVP of the game might get an extra card, something like that. If you have Victor Wembanyama, should you sell him? And that's such a difficult question for me to answer. Because when I'm looking at all these Victor Wembanyamas, they all have like 23 Hall of Famers. And so, like, even if we see a Galaxy Opal Wemby, heck, even if we see a Dark Matter Wemby, is he going to be better than this? When the Dark Matter Wemby comes, probably. But even if we see a Galaxy Opal Wemby, he's not going to be this juiced. And so when I'm looking at cards, honestly, if I'm you guys, I'm not selling a Wemby that looks like this. I'm not. Now, if you've got a base Victor Wembanyama, I'd maybe sell him. If you have a Wemby that looks like this, yes, he's got 2 legends, or a Wemby that looks like this, might be worth your time to sell. But as I'm looking at this, I actually think it might be a decent time to buy Wemby, because a lot of people are selling Wemby because they know it's coming, right? They ultimately know that the All-Star drop is coming and that the market is probably going to crash, but I feel like people are selling them too much. Like, if you can get a Wemby that looks like this, he's better than any Dark Matters we have in the game. And so that's just something that's on my mind. I'm not telling you what to do with Wemby because, again, you can get a pretty juiced Wemby right now as it stands. Some other cards that's going to come out, Pascal Siakam, All-Star right now. If you look at Siakam cards, we got a Pink Diamond that came out a year ago. Basically, I am not really worried about him. Alperen Şengün, what do we got? The 1 Diamond Şengün card. Obviously, at this stage, if you've got him, try to sell him. But, I mean, his price probably shouldn't do a whole lot. Karl-Anthony Towns, we have yet to get a good cat card. We do have Pink Diamond Cat. We have a Diamond Cat from the Pro Pass. Cat's going to be Cat. I just hope they actually make a decent Cat. But if you have the Sweetness Cat, honestly, I'd probably try to sell them before not only the All-Star drop, but before Super Packs as well. Remember, Super Packs are coming out sooner rather than later as well. Donovan Mitchell, next card I want to talk about. Look, if you have, and I like the Galaxy Opal Donovan Mitchell, but if you have him, especially the base version, if you have one that's soup, do what you got to do. But if you have one that looks like this, probably would try to sell it. Honestly, I mean, you're going to get a ton of good cards in this All-Star drop. I just don't think he's worth holding on to. And then Trae Young, obviously, is that injury replacement. Now, Giannis, like I mentioned, he was voted an All-Star starter. Will he get a card? I don't know, since he is injured, but that is something to at least think about. Now, my prediction, All-Star drop on Friday, followed by next week seeing Super Packs. So overall, not even just for those couple of cards, I do think the market is going to trend downward. And so if you have any opportunity to make some extra coins right now, I would try to take advantage of it. Whether it's selling some badges, whether it's selling some shoes, whatever form you have to make those extra coins, guys, I would absolutely try to do that, because coins empty, it's so hard to come by. So I wouldn't hesitate when it comes to that. Also, I wouldn't hesitate picking up cards that are juice. So like I mentioned with Victor Wembanyama, if you can find cards, because a lot of people aren't going to be wanting to spend empty right now, which makes sense. But if you can find cards with, you know, those 8 legend badges on Victor Wembanyama and get the best center in the game, and he's, let's say, less than 1 million coins, I mean, it's tough for me not to recommend doing that. And so, like, for me, am I going to be spending a lot of my coins? Probably not. But if I can get a Wemby, you know, that is juice, and I actually feel like playing the game here over the next couple of weeks, then, again, I'm not going to absolutely hate on that, especially one with, like, 31 Hall of Famers. It's just such a tough situation because a lot of these cards are absolutely juiced. Now, for myself, I don't really have a lot of things that I can sell right now. I just don't. You know, I got to go through my collection and see if I can sell anything and how much MT I can make. But I like, if you look at my team, and I'll show you here in a second, most of my team is unsellable. And over the course of the next couple of weeks, I would try rocking out with a squad somewhat like mine. Like, yeah, my Giannis is juiced, but he's not going to be able to sell for a lot. The rest of my cards outside of Jaren are basically unsellable. So I would try to rock out with something like I've got. Build a squad that is mostly unsellable. Sure, if you want to pick up a card or two, to do what you got to do. But try to save as much MT as you can heading into the next couple of weeks. I think if you do that, you're going to be better off in the long run. So that is something that I definitely did want to hit on and talk about as we are diving in to, in my opinion, what could be a game-changing, next couple of weeks. If you look at it from, my point of view, obviously the All-Star Drop, the Super Packs, if you have a lot of MT just on deck, I think you're going to really like the position you are in after all of those cards are ultimately released in the game. Now, I'm just going to lock in a couple of these cards to hopefully get that extra whatever the 500 card collector is. Hopefully I can lock it in quickly, make that extra MT, and again, just have all the extra MT on deck that I can, which seems like such a small detail, but if you guys can do that as well, you're going to notice your squad in a really solid position. So boom, locking in 500 cards, you get an extra 10,000 MT, which isn't really what I'm worried about. But at the end of the day, it is nice. Every little bit, getting that little extra MT, I will absolutely take it. But try to have as much MT on deck. And do not waste, honestly, if you like opening packs, do not waste your money on today's packs. Wait until Friday. Wait until some decent packs are actually in game. I do think one other thing I want to mention is the overall price of Galaxy Opals is going to go down. So if you have, let's say, a Galaxy Opal, Pete Maravich, Allen Iverson, John Morant, Marc Gasol, these are Galaxy Opals that might be a buyout come next week at this time. I'm just throwing that out there because obviously we're going to see a lot of new Galaxy Opals come this weekend, and I do think the overall Galaxy Opal price could crash in a big time way. Do think we'll see some Dark Matters in the All-Star Drop, so I don't know what the drop totally is going to look like, but just try to have all hands on deck when it comes down to an MT standpoint. If you're asking me, Ty, how do you get so much MT? I've honestly, over the past couple of days, just been emptying out my collection. Because for me, I don't play the game a ton right now. And so there's no reason for me to just have all these badges sitting there, right? If I can turn it into MT, some liquidized MT, and, be able to use it, maybe I'll be able to get back into my team. Maybe they'll make, Season 5 a rewarding season and something that's actually enjoyable. So that's where I'm at. Let me know your thoughts on it. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new. And as always, man, I love you guys. And have a blessed day.